This is a difficult video to make. As you know, in this organization, whenever we lose one of our dogs, we always make an announcement, we make a nice video, a homage to the life that this dog had with us, to his or her story. This is why some of the most beautiful videos you have in this channel are homage to the dogs we lost. But over the last 6 months, 7 months, we've had a number of losses in our organization. These animals were not dogs that died because of any complication in the treatment, because anything went wrong in the surgery, because nothing like that. They died because of old age. The reality is that many of our dogs, many of the dogs that we have at the Great House are very old. Many of them have been with us for over 10 years. And by the time we rescued them, well, they were 3 or 4. So now they are all 15 years old, 16-year-old. We basically we're running a hospice in a way. Sometimes whenever we rescue a new dog, for example, like Rocco or like Peter, they come and they bring a lot of joy and a lot of energy to the Great House. But other than that, the reality is that they are old and we are losing them. This is why I want to make this video today. Today I'm announcing the loss of Roy, of Champion, of Zeta, of Ibi, of Shark, of Esperanza, Charlotte, and Emma. You understand now why I wasn't making regular updates on these dogs, why I wasn't making specific videos. The fact is that it's a fact of life. We lose them. We lost Champion. Champion, you all remember his story, is a dog that was dumped at a kill shelter by his owner. Champion had neurological issues, and the owner, who herself was a nurse working in a neurological hospital, she just didn't want to deal with it. So she dumped him at a kill shelter. She left him there in a cardboard box, and that's where we got him. We treated him, we made him comfortable, and we brought him to the Great House. After Maribel left the Great House, he was adopted. He went to live with her, and that's where he spent the last few months of his life, with Maribel.
¿Vas a caminar?
Zeta. Zeta is a dog that was rescued about 12 years ago. She was one of our oldest rescues. She was a dog found in a village nearby when she was being stoned by the people living in the village. Stoning, imagine. Can you imagine anything more primitive than that? Well, we rescued her. She spent very happy years with us. At some point she developed a tumor in one of her eyes, so we lost her eye. But she was always the heart and soul of the house. She was best friends with Bruce. We used to joke, they were boyfriend and girlfriend. We lost Zeta. We lost Zeta. We also lost Ibi. Ibi was rescued many years ago, about 11 to 12 years ago. She was run over by a car. She was a German Shepherd that somehow found herself in the middle of the road being run over by a car, and the injuries were so traumatic. And I had never seen a dog that was more scared than Ibi. In those days we called her Sarah, and I tell you, she was terrified. After leaving the hospital, she went to live with one of our dearest friends, Violeta. She was adopted by her. And during this time, we always took care of her whenever there was any emergency, whenever there's any need. That's what we do for our animals, even when they leave and they go to foster homes, or when sometimes the families cannot take care of them, we always help. So this is why we always know what's going on with our dogs, even over the years. Ibi passed also of old age after having lived a very comfortable life that started really bad, and well, she ended up being as happy as a dog can be. We also lost Shark, a beautiful Shark, one of the most beautiful cats that we've ever seen, a cat that was rescued in Savannah, Georgia, and that ended up with us over here at the Great House. Shark lived with us many years, nearly 12 years. He was diabetic. And managing his diabetes was a very complex issue. He had to go to the hospital many times over the years. We fought so hard for him that you wouldn't believe. But he had a long and happy life, and he was the king of the cat house, at the White House, the Great House, the Pink House. He was always there, an amazing, amazing cat. We lost him to old age and diabetes. We also lost Esperanza, Hope, a cat that none of you ever met. A cat that was rescued also about 12 years ago. A cat that somebody wrote to me. They told me that they had a cat with a problem with incontinence. She had suffered an accident. She couldn't hold her pee. And I said, okay, we'll take care of her. And we did that for 12 years. Esperanza, Hope, was never up for adoption. He spent a long time at the vet's office, and then he moved with us to the Grey House. And there we lost her. After 12 or 13 years, I mean, it kind of mixed, the number of years sometimes gets mixed up. It's been so long. It's been so long. We're talking about our most senior citizens. We also lost Charlotte, our beautiful Charlotte. I will never forget the first time I saw her. They brought her and they told me that she had spent many times at a local shelter, being chained to a tree and turning around herself. She had a lot of issues. She had mental issues. She will just grab the ball and will never let go. She will chase stones. She will chase shoes. It was a very difficult dog to handle. That's why she was never adopted. If she had been adopted, she would have gone to a house. She would have found a toy or a little trinket, and she would have protected it with her life. She couldn't be adopted. So she stayed with us during her entire life. And that was also 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. Imagine. We also lost Emma. Emma was an old dog that was rescued when she had a collapsed larynx. She couldn't breathe, so we had to go into surgery really quickly. We saved her, and then she was adopted. She went to live with our dear friend Violeta, and she spent the last year of her life living happy there with Evie, with Sarah. Most of our dogs have two names. It's because when we rescue them, well, sometimes they already have a name. Other times the name is given to them by the nurses at the hospital the first day when we arrive, but then we change it. This way they always have two names, or even three names. We call them loving, sweet names. Yeah. And finally, and a very painful loss, we lost Roy. Roy was the only dog that was not old. He was the only dog that didn't get to spend with us over 10 years. Roy was with us for about 3 years. He came to us with a very grave injury. It was a displaced, he had suffered an internal decapitation, and there was an instability on his neck. This is why he was never adopted. Out of precaution, we couldn't let him go to a house, because any time there would be a bad gesture and the risk of death was there. And this is exactly what happened. One day he was playing in the garden, and suddenly, that's it. He was gone. Many of you have followed these dogs over the years. Many of you have fallen in love with them, with their stories, and you have seen the commitment of this organization to give them a happy life, to give them all their needs. Then at the end, this is life, and at the end, they must go, as we will one day. Anyway, just wanted to give you an update. They all deserve an individual video, but it just couldn't happen. Bearing in mind the advanced age of these dogs, I felt that it was better to provide an update. It's a group update. Plus, they were always together, so in a way, they're they're living together. Thank you very much for your help. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. I really don't know what else to say. So we leave it at that. See you tomorrow. Farewell. Farewell, my friends.